It was a cold autumn evening when 17-year-old Emily Carter left her best friend's house. She had sent a quick text to her mother, letting her know she was on her way home. It was a 15-minute walk through their quiet suburban neighborhood in Willow Creek, a town where nothing ever happened. But that night, Emily never made it home. Her mother, Margaret, grew worried as the minutes turned into hours. She called Emily's phone repeatedly, but it went straight to voicemail. At first, the police hesitated to file a report, assuming Emily had run away. Teenagers do this all the time, they said. But Margaret knew better. Her daughter wasn't the type to disappear without a word. As the days passed, the search for Emily intensified. Flyers were posted, search parties scoured the area, and news outlets picked up the story. Still, there was no sign of Emily. The town of Willow Creek, once peaceful, was now drowning in fear and uncertainty. Margaret couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. She spent her days retracing Emily's last known steps, pleading with anyone who might have seen something, anything. The police followed leads, but they always ended in dead ends. Then, a break came 2 weeks after Emily's disappearance. A local jogger found a torn piece of fabric near the old railway tracks just outside of town. It was Emily's sweater. Margaret broke down when she saw it. She could still remember how excited Emily had been when she bought it. "Mom, it's my favorite color," she had said. Now, it was a cruel reminder of the nightmare Margaret was living. 3 months passed, and hope began to wane. The town moved on, but Margaret didn't. She refused to believe Emily was gone forever. And then, on a cold December morning, Margaret received a call that changed everything. A woman named Sarah, who lived in a neighboring town, had seen a girl resembling Emily at a gas station late at night. The girl seemed nervous, looking around as if afraid. Sarah approached her, but before she could say anything, a man pulled the girl into a car and sped off. Sarah managed to snap a picture of the license plate. The police traced the plate to a man named Richard Hale, a man with a history of violent offenses. He lived in a remote cabin deep in the woods. A SWAT team was dispatched immediately. When they stormed the cabin, they found Emily, alive, but terrified. She had been held captive for months, enduring horrors she couldn't put into words. When she saw her mother for the first time, she collapsed into her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Emily's rescue was nothing short of a miracle. The town that had once feared the worst now celebrated her return. But the scars, both seen and unseen, remained. Margaret refused to leave her daughter's side as Emily slowly began to heal. Therapy sessions, long talks, and countless sleepless nights became their new reality. Emily struggled with nightmares, but she was determined not to let her captor win. She spoke out about her experience, hoping to help others who had suffered similar fates. Richard Hale was sentenced to life in prison. Justice was served, but for Margaret and Emily, the real victory was in their bond, the unbreakable love between a mother and daughter. A year later, Emily stood in front of a packed auditorium, sharing her story. She had turned her pain into purpose, advocating for missing persons and survivors of kidnapping. She had found strength in her suffering, hope in her darkest moments. As she looked into the crowd, she saw her mother, her rock, her hero, smiling through tears. Their nightmare was over, and though the scars would never fade completely, they had something far greater, a second chance at life. The town of Willow Creek, once shrouded in fear, now stood as a beacon of resilience. And Emily, once a missing girl, was now a survivor, a warrior. She had vanished without a trace. But she was found, and her story was far from over.